So the reason why I come to India is I really enjoy coming to India, and it's really hard to beat Goa. But beyond that, I really enjoy the security community here. I think India always, their culture has always had a very strong sense of community, and that is very present inside of the security community here. So it's very fun to be able to come and meet with other researchers and security professionals and even college students that are just excited about the prospects of the future and about the research. So it's just kind of a good place to come and share ideas and to get other people excited and to get excited about what other people are working on. I think that the people here in India, just like everywhere, is really broadening the areas of where security can be applied. We see elsewhere in the United States and in Europe how a lot of the security researchers are starting to get into not just control systems but embedded devices and hardware and wireless. And we're seeing the same trends here in India as well. So I think it's fun to see that growth into the continued development. And not only that, but we're seeing security projects and research coming out of India that's unique and fresh and contributing back to what's originally came from more the United States and Europe. We're seeing a lot of stuff come back from India back to the States and to Europe. Seeing a lot more Indian presenters in conferences in the States and in Europe. When I work professionally for organizations and for governments and different manufacturers, one thing that I'm continually reminded about is no matter how much effort we put into securing a piece of software like Windows, Microsoft does an amazing job at trying to make it secure, and other companies like cell phone companies and companies that make control systems, no matter how much effort they put into the security and they find the vulnerabilities and they remove the vulnerabilities, there's always more vulnerabilities. And I think that's one lesson that I always try to remember in my own personal life, is that no matter what types of personal devices I have, maybe my watch or my cell phone and the technology they have on it with my watch running Android, so all these devices that I have on me, they always can have vulnerabilities into them. And we should always expect that any piece of software we run and any piece of hardware that we wear on us or we use can be vulnerable and can be attacked and can be leveraged against us. So I think it reminds me to always live my life where if I put something on the internet or I put something in a piece of software, just be prepared that that could be something that's leaked out. Somebody could attack that information. Do our best to protect it. Do our best to limit what we put on Facebook and on LinkedIn, on the social network sites. Do our best to not put things on our digital electronics devices and mobile devices that are critical to ourselves that can harm us. And anything that we do put on there, just be prepared that if somebody does gain access to it or it gets leaked or it gets published, just make sure that you're in the right state of mind, that you know what to do and how to combat that or overcome that, and realize that it may not destroy you. It may be difficult if somebody is to compromise your bank account, but just kind of always be in that state of mind that this is the world that we live in now, and it's a digital world, and digital assets can be stolen and lost and destroyed. I think organizations here in India are getting compromised. I think they're being compromised just as fast and just as frequently as anywhere else. I think the bigger problem is not that companies aren't being compromised, but it's sometimes trying to find and identify that they have been compromised. That's one of the biggest problems. I mean, you go back and you look at the research and how long that Target was compromised, and they found out relatively quickly in comparison. If you go back to other research that other organizations have done over the last couple of years, most organizations have been compromised for over a year to a year and a half before it was ever discovered they were compromised. So I don't think it's something about the media or something that you don't hear about or doesn't get advertised. I think that companies all over the world are being compromised on a daily basis that nobody knows. Nobody realizes that they have been compromised. We do on our mobile phones have our iPhones, our iPads, our Android devices. We do have different types of security software on them that are similar to the antivirus on our computers. But I think you're right. There's a lot of issues with them still. They don't have as much control or much access to the operating system to be able to identify the vulnerabilities and fix the vulnerabilities. But another time that I think that a lot of people misunderstand is they believe that just because they have antivirus on their computer, that their computer is impermeable and that it won't be attacked and it can't be compromised. And unfortunately that's not the case. even on our computers, where admittedly the antivirus software we have there to protect us is better than what we have on our mobile devices. Even the software on our computers, though, is very trivial to get around. When I do my penetration tests and I try to play that part of the attacker and break into an organization, if there's ever a piece of software or a computer that I need to get my code to run and be able to compromise that machine and put malware on that machine so I can gain access to it, if I find that the antivirus on that machine stops it from being installed and catches it, it only takes me about 5 minutes to modify it enough that I can get it to run. So what the antivirus is really doing, both on our computers and on our mobile devices, it isn't designed to stop all the attackers. It's not even designed to stop attacks. It's just designed to stop things that are very common, simple things that most of the attackers are using. So it's kind of the low-hanging fruit, the really easy ones. If somebody ever wants to attack you directly, it's usually somewhat trivial to do if they can give it to you to click on something or to run some piece of software.